Keep going, power through it. Again, we're going to put the nylon bolt in the oil passage in the crank. And I trimmed the head of it. It's 5/16 nylon bolt. Alright, go ahead, turn it. And it's just going to push this crank bearing out. So it's just pushing that thing down. You can see it right here. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. This one's pretty tight. Not want to come out there. Keep coming. Keep going. Keep going. Keep, oh, there we go, keep going. So that bearing's out. Alright, that's good. Alright, so we got that bearing out. That's the top bearing. It's got a teeny bit of wear on it. New bearing. Hopefully we have better luck. So we need the slotted one. That's good. See if I can get that sucker up in there. There it goes. Just seat it down in that, so the little dimple on it kind of was a little bit off. So just tapped it up in there with that hammer. All right, so we should be ready. Make sure I'm getting the number on the right side. Some bolts in it to get it lined up. That's this side. Get the bolt started and that'll line it up, and then you can kind of tap it home. Make sure you're lined up good. We'll give her some taps. Seat it up in there. Might be a touch out of whack there. Don't get too crazy with these bolts because we got to take them back out to do the put the words are hard. I gotta put the stiffeners. That's the one I was looking for. That's the word I was looking for. Stiffeners. Put the stiffeners on the block here. So we're just running these up for right now. Alright, so we'll go back here to number 4 where the get to see the so we'll go back here to number 4 where we get to see the thrust washers on this. I was confused why my hand was in there. Oh, there she goes. Whew. Boy, oh boy. I want to come out of there. Alright. So again, this one has the thrust washers on it. So, the thrust bearing, sorry. Look at that guy. That thing looks like it's brand new. I don't think it has a scrape on it. Automatics tend to not have as much thrust in the end. Automatic transmissions, that is. So yeah, those are like brand new. So these will just pop off here, maybe. Say that, you should be able to just pop them off. But it's going to make me have to get a screwdriver. Oh, and then the bearing. So the bearing was due. See pretty good wear in there. Keep coming. Oh, the thrust washer's falling out of there. Huh. Well, I guess there ain't no hole in the crank. That's interesting. Alright, so I took a piece of shim stock, plastic shim, and I'd shoved up in there to push start the bearing down. There it goes. It just slid out. So now it's coming around. Come on, come on, come on. And there we are. It's out there. Number 4. Alright, so we're going to put the thrust bearings in. So these guys just go, the coating is a little funky, but you just go up in here. You should be able to push it around and just push the old one out, push the new one in. That one's already out. Oh no, it's in there. It's coming, it's coming. Did I put that in backwards? Oh, I did it again. Dang it. I did it backwards again. Dang it. So the dimpled side of the thrust bearing should go against the crank. So you can just push the old one out with the new one. And there we go, that's the old one. Now the other one already fell out, so all we gotta do is push the new one in. So again, you want this surface, you want the dimpled surface against the crank. So the crank might have moved. Oh, there we go. Yep. Got it to move the crank a little bit. I just put the pry bar on one of these weights a little bit and pushed it over. So you can see over here, I just put the pry bar in between there and just kind of gently pushed the crank forward toward the front of or toward the back. Give me some room to get that thrust bearing in there. So now we need to roll the top bearing in. Some lube on it. We gotta go. Let's see here. It's gonna go that way. And there. There she goes. Come on. Come on. Tap, 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 tap. Little tappy, tap, tap. There it goes. Right up into place. Want to clip these thrust bearings on. You just sit on there like that. So the other side is the same thing. This thing's got a bunch of oil on it, packaging, but so that's it. It's ready to go in. Okay, got this guy on. Number that way. Sucker slid up in here. Get the bolt started. So we're lined up. We got to take all these bolts back out and put lube on them to torque them. This guy's good. We'll just leave it right there for right now, and we'll get the stiffener plates on here, so then we can go ahead and put these bolts in permanent. I got to get the lube. Alright, so I got lubricant that's equivalent to International Compound number 2 on the bolt thread and on the washer and the head of the bolt in between. That's to help you torque to the proper torque setting per the manual. that started and then get the next one on. Get some lubricant on it. I'm using ARP's equivalent faster assembly lubricant. They say it's, of course they say it's better than International Compound number 2. And the book tells you to put it on the washer too, so make sure you get it on the washer. I like to get it on both sides of that washer. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that. So I got both sides of the washer and then on threads of the bolt. Stick that in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put these bolts in so we're lined up. I don't want this thing to move once we get once we tighten these other guys down. Oh, it says it's crusty. Alright, so we'll get all this stuff assembled and then we'll torque it. Alright, torquing these down to 70 foot-pounds, or 70 to 75 foot-pounds. I'm doing 70 first, and I'll go back and do 75. So that's 70, 75. Just put a dot on these to know that I put new bearings in them. Alright, so we're going to torque these to 50 foot-pounds first, starting in the middle. We'll start here. That's 50. This thing doesn't click that loud sometimes. Alright. that's 50. And we're gonna go up to 230 next. I think everything's in place. I beat on these with a hammer, and then I also wiggled the crank a little bit forward and back. They said to move the crank forward and back. So I used a pry bar. It said to kind of beat it around just to make sure everything was seated in place. I think the main thing is this number 4, making sure it's in place good. I think everything looks in good shape. Can you hold this up? Just put your hand up under it. You got it? Mm-hmm. All right, move it to the other one. Hold it up. It's 230. Alright, I'm going to go through and mark these. They've been torqued. That'll be it for today. We're going to finish this up hopefully tomorrow. Alright, well, we got the bottom side all put together here. This is the oil pickup tube is in, bolted in, and then you got a oil regulator and a bypass unit that go on here. They're marked. One, whatever the engine cooler side is, there's one marked for the engine cooler. So you got to make sure you get these on the right sides because they're different. These are brand new, so they have updated springs. So they should be all good to go. So I just got to get the pan on here and we can start putting on. Alright, so we got the oil pan on there. I got the new oil filter marked. Oil pan marked. Everything's torqued. So all I got to do is put the tubes back on the little dribble box. That's a Detroit factory dribble box right there. And it'll be all... Alright, so we're filling up and do 3 of these things of Hyperlube. Alright, so we're filling the engine with Detroit 2-cycle oil, 40 weight, 4 2-cycle engines. You can see that stuff it's actually made by Mobil. Filling it up. Alright, we're going to crank this thing up. No
that's the shutdown right there. So this is the air cylinder that normally pushes out when you turn the key off, but when you don't have any air, it won't push that in. So you just have to push that forward. It's just right on the top of the governor there. That's the throttle arm. And then the shutdown arm is over here. You can also pull back on this side. This is the cable that comes from your shutdown up front. This guy right here. So it looks pretty good. I'm just going to let it sit for a minute and top it up with oil. Make sure its oil level is good. And that's about it.
H tits on a racehorse.
Alright, what do I do? Turn with the arrow or against it?
With.
Is this good for the engine turning against the arrow?
Are you good for the engine?
Yes.
Is this already recording? Or did I just hit the button?
You hit the button.